The magic of this show is gone.
You watch Arrested Development, right?
Dude, don't. Okay, can that show be like buried now? Because
no, dude,
it's not that it's bad, but like that show ended up like outstaying its welcome to the point where they did the original show harm.
I love Job and everything about it.
I know, but come on. Am I wrong? No.
I actually like the Netflix seasons.
What? You mean the fucking COVID pandemic seasons where they were filming separately because none of them were ever together? They were doing it long before COVID happened.
Season 4 they weren't together. Season 5 they were together. Season 5 was...
4 is the only one that I saw. I didn't watch 5. 4 was so bad I couldn't bring myself to watch 5.
I liked 4, but they did redo it where they put it in chronological order so it makes more sense.
Oh, right. And got rid of all the body doubles that they were using for everyone? Isn't that right, Portia de Rossi? Cuts to a clearly different angle of her in a different set. Yes, it is. Jesus Christ. Speaking of movies that don't have body doubles, at least I don't think they do, but do feature, I guess, was this movie Oscar bait? It's a little Oscar bait.
I would not call it Oscar baity.
But I would say it is Oscar bait.
It may get some Oscar.
It did.
Did it get an Oscar level?
It got like one. It got like one, I think.
What was the nomination?
Best Picture.
Best Geek. Oh,
Best Geek. Bradley Cooper in a starring role.
Spoilers.
Well, fuck.
Geek doesn't mean you read a lot of comic books, apparently.
Right. So on this episode of the Kulturecast, I'm joined once again by my good friend, former staff writer for the site long ago in the before times, Yashar Pirasteh, and we're talking about new movies once again because, you know...
And by before times, that we were talking about when climate change was a hoax.
Yeah, Red still is a hoax last time I checked. I heard, somebody told me, I learned it on Facebook, that climate change is a hoax. Okay. So we're going to be talking about 2021's 2022 nominated for an Oscar film, because yes, the Oscar nominations literally came out like 20 minutes ago. Yeah. We're going to be talking about Guillermo del Toro's remake of Nightmare Alley. So yeah.
Oh, it's a remake? I thought this was completely original.
Oh, fuck you. Yeah. Yuck. I thought, yeah, right. Like, I thought this was an original idea. Just kidding.
I will ask you simple questions. You will answer in short sentences only what you believe to be absolute truth.
Absolute truth. I can do that.
Now, brief as you can, what is your name?
Stanton Carlisle.
Are you a true medium?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Carlisle.
Doctor, how about that?
Please lay down.
Can you read minds?
Yes, I can. Under the right circumstances.
Keep your answers brief.
What do I want?
To be found out, same as everybody else.
Are you in contact with the beyond?
Well, we've had our share of snake charmers in the past. We deal with them.
You don't fool people, Stan. They fool themselves.
I've given you a fortune. It's time that you delivered.
When does it end? I want to know.
If you displease the right people, the world closes in on you very, very fast.
So the film is directed by Guillermo del Toro. It is written by Guillermo del Toro and Kim Morgan, based off of, again, like we mentioned, the script or the book by William Lindsay Gresham, which is also then turned into another film. So this is a remake of a movie and a adaptation of a source material at the same time. And it stars Bradley Cooper as Stanton Carlisle, a man with a jaded past who is kind of a piece of shit, just like in general.
Wait.
I don't know.
He's kind of a piece of shit.
He's a total piece of shit. Like, it's, I don't know. But before I ask you what you thought about the movie, I will say something just to get this out of the way. They don't make movies like this anymore, folks. because there is nobody to root for in this movie. It is
Rooney Mara.
But she's not a main character.
I mean, she's like the second lead. I'm trying to think.
I don't know. Look, this feels like a movie like the original film. It feels like a pre-code film.
Did you watch the original film?
No, but I've seen enough films like it to...
Oh.
It feels like one of these movies where it's like, we're just going to push the envelope with how terrible this character is and give you no redeeming qualities. I mean, there's nothing redeeming about this character.
Think it's like old school. Think about like if Succession happened 100 years ago and it wasn't funny.
It's one of these movies where there is literally no one to root for.
Except for Rooney Mara.
Kind of. But again, like, you're rooting for this woman who is in cahoots with this guy who's ripping people off? Is she really any better than him?
I mean, they're like mildly ripping. It's more like
I know, but everybody is pretty terrible. They're all differing shades of terrible.
Yeah, although you could argue she's complicit in like the geek thing. I mean, they're all kind of complicit.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's kind of bad.
Kind of bad. So anyway, Yashar, you were the one who wanted to watch this. It's not that I didn't have any interest, but again, I'm not watching a lot of new movies, though this did come suggested to me by someone else other than you.
Would you say this is the spiritual sequel to Midnight Meat Train, or is no one listening to this going to understand that reference?
No, people know what Midnight Meat Train is. No, this is not the movie I was expecting. Given who directed it.
I would say there was a few alleys, not a whole lot of nightmares.
Right. It's not Guillermo del... If you're expecting Crimson Peak Guillermo del Toro or...
that Crimson Peak was fucking garbage. Horrible movie. And like...
Was that Tom Hiddleston, right?
Yeah, of course, like the fucking siblings are banging each other.
With the high collar?
That movie was not good. Yeah. Very not. That movie was bad, not good. But this is probably one of the least... I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Del Toro's really, really old stuff, but I've probably seen most of his movies. And it was definitely maybe the most like quote unquote realistic, because it was a pretty straight up, like there wasn't like a fantasy element or anything supernatural or anything like that.
You said you have or haven't seen his early stuff.
I don't think I've seen like his first, I don't know, handful of movies. Was Kronos him?
Yes.
I haven't seen Kronos. It's on my list.
Backbone?
No, I haven't seen Kronos Devil's Backbone. I've seen pretty much everything from like Hellboy on.
Interesting. Yeah, Devil's Backbone is interesting. I've never seen Kronos, but Devil's Backbone is interesting. There are parts of this that kind of have that OG Guillermo del Toro feel, like pre-Hellboy. But again, like Del Toro for me, I mean, yeah, like obviously for you and me and for a lot of people our age, the first thing we saw that he had done was 2004 Hellboy, right? Like that was the first Del Toro movie I saw. It's probably the first.
That was his first big movie, right?
He did Blade too, but like Hellboy, right? But Hellboy is yeah. But Hellboy is like, if you're talking his first mainline superhero movie that he's doing to start, yeah.
Yeah. I guess Blade 2 was already like established IP, so it was less about the director. I think Hellboy was the first thing where you're like, oh, this is like his vision.
Yeah.
And like,
exactly. And like, exactly. His, it was his vision for Hellboy. He worked with Mike Mignola on like all the, I mean, yeah, like the Hellboy movie is it's a labor of love for Del Toro. Yeah. And if you see interviews with Del Toro from back in the day and now, you really get the sense that this guy loves movies and he loves the history of filmmaking. And I think that this movie is, in a lot of ways, his love letter to an era and time gone past of filmmaking. I mean, again, this is a very small in scope story. It's a story that exists kind of in a weird world, like where it's meant to be our reality, but it's not our reality in a lot of ways.
I mean, I would say if you told me this shit happened 100 years ago, I'd believe it. I don't know.
Right, but like it's meant to be our reality, but there is this like stylized nature to it that sets it kind of like, it puts it in the world of noir, because this is firmly set in film noir. But
especially like with the Cate Blanchett stuff.
Right, but that's the other thing about this movie that I think can't be overlooked, and I think you would agree with me. It's two movies.
Yeah, there's definitely like a pretty clear inflection. A pretty clear, like the first half is almost maybe a slightly darker than normal, but kind of carny movie about a guy with a dark past. Second half is more of like almost a con man move, like like something like Focus or something. Obviously with a bit of a noir twist, and there's like another like, I guess there is a twist at the end. It's not like M. Night Shyamalan style.
It's a noir style twist. It's a twist out of a noir film.
But there is, so it's two different movies, but it isn't necessarily. I wouldn't say it's a jarring juxtaposition. No, like it flows well.
The setting, so obviously they want to kind of have their cake and eat it too, because you want to show the gritty underbelly of the non-urban world, which is kind of the carny folk that you see at the first half of the film. But then you also want to see the dark underbelly of the urban world, which is the rest of, essentially the rest of the movie through the end. And I like the juxtaposition of the two, but I feel like for me, there's this moment in the second half of the movie where I'm sitting and thinking to myself, like, so we have like 6 different plots going at once, and we could have cut down on like 2 of them. Because this movie is, and again, I have no problem with movies that are 2.5 hours long. I have a problem with movies that are 2.5 hours long that feel like they're 3. Because this movie's a little, in the center part, it drags. And not a little bit, it drags a fair amount.
Are you saying?
Again, all you need to know, because I guess before we talk spoilers, which I think we should, would you suggest people watch this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect.
Sure.
But it's highly entertaining. All the performances are good. Like there's a lot of, actually, we should go through some of the list of like, there's some pretty big name actors in this, such as Bradley Cooper. There's a ton of A-listers and like top tier character actors in here. And they're all amazing. The story is pretty good and engaging. And it looks like the movie looks really good. Like it's shot really interestingly. It is pretty stylistic, and yeah, it's long, but I generally was along for the ride. It gets a little bogged down in plot near the end to like set up the twist and stuff.
The big climax.
But it's definitely a cool movie. I mean, it's not a happy movie, and I wouldn't say if you need something to look for someone to root for, to your point earlier, that's probably not the place to go. But yeah, I definitely liked it.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. This is worth checking out. This is a movie that I would think, if you're into movies, you've probably already seen it, and if you're on the fence about it, because maybe you feel like it's a long movie. I mean, again, it is a long movie, but I would say your patience is rewarded in the end. Again, go into this knowing that this film has nihilism at its heart. Like, it's pretty nihilistic and cynical at its core.
And I'd even argue maybe the first half might even be a little bit better than the second half.
Well, so spoilers from here on out. Spoilers from here on out. So the first half of the movie is Stanton Carlisle shows up at a carny town, I guess out of town carny camp.
Weird flashbacks of a fire and maybe his dad.
Right, yeah. And so he ends up learning from Toni Collette and David Straharen's characters how to do what's essentially mentalism. Cold reading, stuff like that. He ends up murdering David Strathairn either by accident or on purpose, I would be inclined to believe he did it on purpose.
I actually think, at first, I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this. At first, I didn't really understand what was happening, because like the scene where they explained there's 2 different types of alcohol was a little confusing, first of all.
Oh, never cop a quart?
Why even why even have them both out there? Like that didn't make any sense to me.
Plot convenience, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna set the one that will kill you next to the one that won't kill you, and it says don't drink on both. Which one are you taking? Like,
yeah, it seems like it to be like put it in like a different area.
No, donut eat. It said donut, so I ate it. Like, Jesus Christ.
The only reason I think that it may have been if he either did it on accident or potentially subconsciously, because there's the thing like, even though the David Strathairn characters was a nice guy and stuff, subconsciously reminded him of his dad, was because he did admit to it in the therapy session. And I mean, I just feel like that if you killed someone, it'd be a weird thing to admit that you did on accident.
Yeah, but I honestly think that he did it on purpose, because I was using the final scene of the movie as kind of like the, you have a puzzle, right? And then you need the one piece to kind of decode the entire thing. The scene where he takes the blanket from his dying father, you realize that this guy is the biggest unrepentant piece of shit, because he sits there and watches his dad freeze to death.
Like, yeah, okay, so you're missing there's a little bit of context you're missing there. his dad was was like an abusive alcoholic.
Okay, but
I'm not saying he deserved to die,
right?
But you can understand the resentment and stuff. Whereas the David Strathairn character was actually like he not only cucked him.
That's fair.
He cucked David Strathairn, but David Strathairn did like take him under his wing and teach him stuff. And the other thing was there's this book that has like all the mentalist tricks in it that he gets from David Strathairn, and he did try to give it back at the end. Which I would say like that also kind of indicated to me like maybe it wasn't intentional.
I didn't see that as genuine.
Really?
I honestly I read the Stanton Carlisle character as like just a complete manipulator because like that's the point,
sure,
right?
For
like,
sure, yeah.
And you see what happens when he gets enough kind of pull to be able to use that influence more adeptly than as a fucking carny, right? Because that's the whole thing. Like him and Rooney Mara go off at the end of the first, and it would be the intermission, I guess, of the movie.
Yeah. So once David basically he gives the David Strathairn character this like
Wood
poison
alcohol.
liquor.
Wood alcohol. Yeah, it kills.
Yeah, it's a weird plot. It's a weird plot device.
Wood alcohol is what they were using in the hand sanitizers at the beginning of the pandemic. That's why That's why some hand sanitizers had to be taken off the market because wood alcohol.
I thought you meant that's why some tasted better than others.
Right. That's why they had to take them off the market because if you put like wood alcohol shit on your hands, you could it really fucks you up apparently.
Yeah, and it was also confusing. Like, did people actually drink wood alcohol back then? But you're not supposed to have a lot of it. That whole thing, I didn't really get it. But Willem Dafoe was actually is the. I mean, we can talk. But there's like Willem Dafoe. You have Rooney Mara, but she has a pretty big role. Willem Dafoe's a big role first half. You have Ron Perlman
there. Toni Collette's there.
Toni Collette, and then David Strathairn. So there's yeah.
I mean, again, there's a lot of really.
And then Cate Blanchett and Richard Jenkins in the second half.
There's a lot of good actors in this movie.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're all given enough to do is a different question. Yeah. Again, Rooney Mara's character, I think, is like woefully underserved in a lot of ways. I think she's more interesting in the first half of the movie than she is in the second half.
I feel like she's barely a character in the first half of the movie, actually.
I feel like she's barely in the movie at all.
She's in it a good amount, but in the first half, like, she's this object of his attention. She seemed nice, but, like, we don't really know much about her other than Ron
Perlman is there to protect her.
Yeah, the Ron Perlman protective thing is weird. Like
Ron Perlman's character is just kind of, like, oddly written.
I like Ron Perlman's a good actor. I like seeing him in movies.
It's funny to see him in Guillermo del Toro stuff because, he
had the physicality for like the strongman.
Yeah,
but I didn't really understand his character arc, him or the dwarf guy. Yeah,
he did it. His character arc because he didn't have one. I mean, that's my other issue with the movie is like they have these characters introduced at the beginning. You see them partway through the second act, and then they don't come back in the third act.
Yeah.
And like the Rooney Mara's character, Toni Collette, Ron Perlman. I guess Toni Collette's still around because he sees that thing in the newspaper.
Well, yeah, I mean, her character plays a part that he sees like she's made it basically. Like she's kind of. So I guess that's like the end of her story. And
the other characters don't get a resolution. Not that they need one.
I guess you could maybe assume they travel with her.
Right. I don't know.
And then.
The first half ends with Rooney Mara and Bradley Cooper leaving the Carney
after the poisoning of the David Strathairn
after the accidental poisoning, and he says, "I'm going to give you the world," and then you cut to
2 years later.
2 years later, and they're now they're making it in, I guess, somewhere New York. It's never mentioned. Stylized city, and. Lo and behold, there's this undercurrent throughout the movie of them saying, like, if you're going to do this mentalism stuff, don't do the spook show. Don't give in to the spook show. Don't do the I can talk to dead people thing. Do just like, I'm on my other shows, Scary Stories We Tell, we talk to a mentalist. And he doesn't claim to talk to the dead. He does, like, mentalism stuff. Like the stuff that Bradley Cooper's talking about, like the thing with, like, the clutch with the pistol in it. Like, that's innocuous, but then you get to, like, I can talk to the dead, I can talk to your family members, and the characters in the movie keep saying, like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that.
That's like the line.
Right, don't cross that line, because once you cross the line, like, you can't come back from it, And what happens? I mean,
and it's not for the supernatural reasons. Like, it's not like Ouija board.
Literally,
there's
like, not like you said. There's nothing supernatural that happens.
It's just like it's almost like an ethical thing. It's like, we're okay to kind of scam people or like make them think we're kind of psychic and know about them because we can read their tics or we have coded language. But when it comes to giving them hope about the supernatural, like it's just not something. It's just not something you do.
Yeah, it's one of
that's just the ethic of the movie.
Yeah, it's one of these things where like in the films, in the narrative construct of this film, to give into the supernatural act of using mentalism to contact the dead is you losing your soul in this universe, I guess. It's like tantamount to it, right? Like
it's like a bridge too far.
Right.
It's like you have a code if you do this line of work, and that's where it goes. Yeah.
So Bradley Cooper ends up doing this work, and in the process he runs into Cate Blanchett's character.
Let's rewind just a second. So there's a 2-year gap after that, and then he and Rooney Mara have actually done a quite successful partnership. So they're not super rich, but like they're doing well living good.
They have like a residency at a hotel, essentially.
Yeah. So then they're approached for work by Cate Blanchett and this older man, and then. Sorry.
What ends up happening is they're putting on a show, and Cate Blanchett's character shows up to debunk them, and because she wants to find out if he's bogus or not, and Bradley Cooper is able to essentially make her look like an idiot in front of a group of people, but in doing so, he draws the attention of a judge whose son just passed away in the war, and so there's this moment where he's like, do you say no and walk away and like your character's probably fine and like your character never goes down this horrible path? Or do you give in? And he gives in and says like, yes, I can speak to the dead. And then it's like, well, I'll pay you privately to do it. And so this is the interesting part of the movie. So Cate
and Rooney Mara tells him not to do it.
Right. Well, of course. Well, right. Because she's a paragon of virtue in a sea of terrible human beings. Cate Blanchett is a psychiatrist. She's treating all these really rich people in this town, and Bradley Cooper goes to her and says, hey, look, we can scam these people together. You tell me the information that I'm not supposed to know, I'll regurgitate it to them, pretending to know from the other side or from whoever, and, we'll bilk everybody for what they're worth. We'll take this town for every dollar that it's worth, because people will want to hear, oh, they love you from the other side or whatever. I enjoyed that. I thought that was a pretty clever little twist. Because again, it's like, there's no supernatural stuff going on, but in this universe, they're being convinced that there is.
Yeah, I like their interplay and their interactions. The movie really held close to the chest, her motivations and stuff. And like, even his kind of like debunking him. Like, because I didn't really understand the ending twist, which you get into it a bit. And apparently like, it was all about that scene. It had to do with like basically her pride. Because she wanted to use him for one thing, which she could have done, but then for the actual twist, it's not even related to the thing she was using. It was truly just because he pissed her off, essentially.
Right.
So I did find, while interesting, I didn't necessarily buy they would immediately fall for each other, and like, her whole thing is like, I'll help you, but I don't want money, and he just, and then I don't, yeah. There was a little bit of like narrative mumbo jumbo to make that all work, but it's fine.
You have to believe that she's smarter. That he thinks that he's smarter than her, but she's smarter than him no matter what, is what the movie is saying. But we don't find out the second half of that equation until the last 5 minutes of the movie.
And I'm not even upset with her outsmarting him. It's just more about the fact that like he immediately wanted to like give her the money to like to go 50-50, even though she was like, no, you can keep all the money. And so he was like so I'm almost like, if he had never pushed for that, would this have happened? And he had multiple outs. He had an out before the first client because Rooney Mara's like, don't take it. And he's like, okay, I won't. He takes it. He gets through the first client, and then takes another client. And it's like this like, it's almost, I don't know if it's meant to be this way, but it's almost like you could make it like an allegory for capitalism or whatever. Like, what's that insatiable?
I mean, I don't think that's. So I was about to say, there's a lot of subtext to this movie, right?
Yeah, because
it's like
he's made it.
It's like the American dream and the loss of like faith in capitalism. Like there's a lot of like subtext in this movie, right?
I mean,
I'm not surprised you mentioned it. I'm glad you mentioned it because it was either you were going to mention it or I was going to mention it. But it felt like Guillermo del Toro was trying to tell a story of like America, right?
I don't know.
The American dream, maybe? Like,
I mean, kind of like the guy leaves rural bumfuck nowhere, goes to a carnival. The opening was weird because it's almost like he's like in a daze. He's just like, wakes up from this burning house and he's like in a carnival. You don't know. He doesn't speak for the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even mention that. Bradley Cooper, like, I would say in the first half of the movie, Bradley Cooper's lines are probably limited to like 3 pages of script, maybe 4.
Once he meets Toni, Collette, and stuff, he starts talking more.
Right, but like for the most part, the first half of the movie, he's pretty quiet.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe does a lot of
talking. But I think there is some subtext here for like the capitalist dream of America or something, because I was trying to figure it out, because like there's obviously more going on here. Like Guillermo del Toro in a lot of interviews said, like, when I started on this project, it changed the way I thought about the world. And I'm like, when I was thinking about like that in relation to the story that they're telling, it's kind of hard not to be like, okay, so what is the character of Stanton Carlisle standing in for? Is he standing in for the American dream, or people that are chasing, I guess, opportunity? And what happens when you are too opportunistic? Again, like, you could take it any number of ways, because it's rather not vague, but they're not hitting you in the face with it.
It's like one of those things. Greed is like a universal human thing, regardless of whatever your politics
system
are,
you live
economic
in.
system. The greed thing. So you could say like maybe it's just about like human nature and greed, but
it's about that regardless. But like,
it's like that's like the
is
baseline.
Is it more coded than that, right?
Yeah, so the question is it just about like human nature and greed, which I think that's definitely part of it. Is that everything that it's about, or is it also about like he is sort of emblematic of capitalism, and it's like he's escaped this bad area, made it far beyond that anyone can expect, even doing some questionable things to get there, but he would be fine coasting, doing that forever, and then he makes one bad decision, but like still kind of
enough is not enough, right?
But and then he wants more and more, and so it's like
which is capitalism. Like capitalism is like the accumulation of wealth in never-ending perpetuitum. So
so it's like he's going full Bezos. It's like you could be a billionaire, but why stop at $1 billion when you could have 10 billion? Why stop at 10 billion when you could have 100 billion?
Right.
So
because that's the other thing. Like when he's grifting the I guess the wealthiest character of the film, Ezra Grindle, who's of course he's a rich white tycoon who
it's like the
who turns out
20s,
to be a sexual assaulter, or I guess beater,
like a more violent Harvey Weinstein, basically
abuser of women. He's grifting him, and then even at the end of the movie, when he's grifting this guy who's paying him like $10,000 a session, I don't get the sense that when he's done with him, he's going to be done.
Oh, right? No,
right? He'll keep going. Like he just
no. I thought he was definitely. After where he runs him over.
No. Like if the thing with Ezra Grindle had been successful.
Oh yeah.
If it hadn't gone sideways, like it would never. I don't think for Stanton Carlisle it would have ever been enough.
I totally agree. Yeah, even though he was making like tons of money. Like he was getting $10,000 a session, which in that time was probably like 100,000 plus.
Oh yeah, that's a ton of money.
Yeah. No. So yeah, he does one thing where he basically communes with one rich guy and says like, "Your son's in peace. You'll be with him." Wife played by Mary Steenburgen, randomly in the movie. I mean, she's like a pretty big actress.
Literally 2 scenes.
2 scenes. One insane. As soon as I knew where that scene was going, but I was still surprised.
Yeah, so there's a scene. It's towards the end of the movie. It's during the effectively the climax of the movie. This couple is, like you said, they're told by Stanton Carlisle, by Bradley Cooper's character, like, "Oh, your son's in heaven. You'll be reunited when you're there." And
that's how he rationalizes it.
Right, and the wife is like, takes it to heart and kills her husband and herself so that they can be with their son.
Be with him. And then the Ezra guy.
Nuts. Like, I mean,
yeah. His issue was, I didn't realize he was his lover. I couldn't tell if it was his daughter or his lover, like the whole movie. I was like, did he force his daughter to get it? Because there's one part, I think, where he's talking, but there's that loud music going on in the library, and it's almost, do you know what I'm talking about? There's the scene when it's all the past is revealed. He can't get the information from the psychiatrist, so he finds out like the name of the woman, and he goes to the library to see newspaper articles about her. And it's basically like, he essentially forces this woman to get an abortion that he was in love with. And I guess she died during the abortion. It was a failed abortion, and he regrets it. So he wanted like some sense of peace, and that's
he wanted to be absolved of her death.
Yeah, and this guy's he's probably a bigger piece of shit than Bradley Cooper.
And Richard Jenkins plays it really well, because you don't realize what's going on until the last scene, their interaction. Because he plays it similar to Cate Blanchett. He plays it pretty close to the chest as to what the reality of his character is.
Yeah, you just think he's like, kind of a weird, up his own ass rich guy, but you don't like think anything. Like he's like somebody you don't want to cross in the sense of you don't want to like fuck with like rich people generally, but you don't think too much of him. Although he does have that kind of scary bodyguard guy, the guy from Mindhunter.
What's his name? Oh God, Holt McCallany or whatever.
Yeah, I like him.
He's great.
Yeah, he was good in the movie.
I'm glad to see him and stuff, but whenever I see him, I'm just like, oh, he's just from Mindhunter or from the Whedon Justice League movie.
He is actually a pretty good performance in the Guy Ritchie movie Wrath of Man. Have you seen it? He's actually one of like probably the 2 or 3 top leads because it's Jason Statham, him, and Josh Hartnett. Highly recommend if you want to see it.
But does he get run over by a car in that?
Maybe, yeah.
He gets run over by a car in this.
Twice.
Pretty epically, too.
Yeah.
It's, what's funny, what's kind of funny about this movie is that, there's this kind of the subplot of, like, the psychiatrist knows everything, but won't tell Bradley Cooper because then they'll know that they got the information
from her. Yeah, because she's the only one that would know these things.
So she knew that he was, like, a serial abuser of women then?
Well, okay, so the implication is, and it didn't, I kind of got this, but I read some afterlife. So there's a point in the movie where she to like seduce Bradley Cooper's character, she shows this scar on her chest to say like things have happened to her. So the implication is that he did that to her, and the whole point of him linking her together, scamming her, was her form of revenge on him.
Oh, they didn't make that. Fuck that. That's bullshit.
I mean, it was like a very like tenuous. I guess you say it because it's like who the fuck else would have done that to her? And he's like says I do hurt women, so that's like the connection there.
Yeah, but
and then you get to think,
why didn't they say that in the script then?
Well, I mean,
why not say that? Why not say that at the end of the movie?
So let's kind of go.
There's no reason not to have that in the script if that were the case.
The movie ends with her double crossing Bradley Cooper. And not because she feels bad about the people he scammed.
Crossing him almost.
Yeah, but it's not really even about the money. She just I didn't really understand why she would, because I was like, okay, if he's like a tool for her to get after these guys. I don't know.
Wasn't it for the money?
No,
it was. She kept all the money though.
Yeah, she kept the money, but like I think she just wanted to fuck with him. And I was reading online. Apparently, it was saying the scene where he goes in on her, like she was prideful, like him. And she didn't want anyone taking the better of her. And so, like, she took that and said, I'm going to get back at you. Like, I'm going to be the smartest person in the room. Which made sense with her character, but also, like, we got, like...
That feels like other people reading into it, dude.
Yeah, I didn't get that from just watching the movie the first time, but I also was like, I don't know why else she would betray him, unless it was purely for the money. But she could have gotten half the money and not betrayed him. And she was quite wealthy.
But this is a noir movie, dude. That's why I was telling you, like, this is noir. In noir, it's like the characters are betrayed to the nth degree. She's taking all the money because she wants all the money, and fuck you. Like, and you know what? If she knew that he was abusing women, like, then she was using Bradley Cooper to get back at him.
Yeah.
Like, But I don't know. That's whatever you read seems like it's reading way too much into it. Like,
I mean, I read it in a few different places.
Subtext, like hyper subtext, like
I'd be interested to see what Guillermo del Toro said, but like basically he was saying that because Bradley Cooper sort of one-upped her, and he didn't just say hey, you're wrong, that's fine. It was like he like really went after her hard and like made her look bad in front of other people, which I didn't really think much about. Like I was just like, but it also kind of goes back to the point of like his own hubris, right? Because Rooney Mara does say, why'd you go so hard at her? Like, you could have just dropped it. And he's like, well, I wanted to, like, show that my credentials. So, like, maybe that kind of goes with the whole greed, capitalism, like, enough, he won, yet he still kept going. And then that comes back later on. Or I could just be talking out of my ass.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you look at it that way, using that scene as kind of, like, the initial onus for why she would want to get back at him, I mean, again, it's not as tenuous as I had initially felt. But again, why not just say that in that scene at the end? Like, again, like that feels like so obvious of a connection. If they were wanting it to be that obvious, they would have said it.
Yeah, the betrayal was a little hard for me to follow. Like, I was like, okay, she betrayed him, but to me, it wasn't 100% clear why she did until afterwards when I read stuff. And I'm like,
because I guess I just read into it. It was the money. Like, again, it's like very noir. Like, nah, see, I'm taking all the money for myself and fuck you, like, and you're crazy and you're gonna get, and like she's gonna have him committed too. I mean, she is getting back at him because like she's gonna have him committed.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just a troglodyte, and the simplest answer is, but I don't know. Nothing in the movie gave any indication that like money really mattered to her, because like she has like the craziest office I've ever seen and stuff like that.
And I would agree with that. Like it didn't, like I will agree that the movie didn't make it seem like money was a motivator.
Yeah, especially for her.
Right.
So that's why.
But at the same time, that's the only motivation that we're given at the end of the film for why she did what she did. Other than, again, I would agree that there is enough evidence to say like there is this idea that she did this just to be like, fuck you, dickhead, like you fucking fake. You fake asshole playing with your, Ouija boards and stuff. Like you're not legit. Like I know I have a better idea of what's going on in reality than you do. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting if you view it from that direction.
I guess that's the big twist, and the ending has gotten a lot of buzz. Like the actual ending of the movie, which harkens back to an early conversation the character has with Willem Dafoe. Basically plays like the ringmaster. And
of this initial carny
of the Carney show. Willem Dafoe is really great. He's only like the first half of the movie, but he's a pretty big presence.
He's like in like 4 scenes essentially. Like he's not. I mean, he's around, but he's like when he's on screen, he's great, but he's not in it. He's not in it very much, but he's used to great effect.
He has like the opening sequence where he introduces the geek. Then he like has that diner scene with Bradley Cooper. They also take the geek to the hospital, and like he just does like general management stuff. But anyway, he's great in the movie. But there's a key scene early on where so you want to explain what a geek is?
So in this scene, Willem Dafoe is explaining how he shanghais in no uncertain terms a drunkard from a nightmare alley, or that's where the term comes from. It's like from a nightmare alley or from a soup hall or whatever. He goes in and tells one of these drunks, he says, "Hey, are you looking for work? I can pay you in food and alcohol, and that's it. I'm looking for a temporary geek. A geek is someone who bites the head off of chickens. Yes, this is a real thing. Yes, they did.
I don't think that's all a geek does. I think a geek just does like the brave things, but like in the movie, that's what
in this film, the geek is the guy who bites the chicken's head off. On Wikipedia, when I looked it up, it said it was the guy who bites the head off of chickens.
Oh, it's specifically chickens.
I believe so. So he tells him, look, this is how I make a geek. I essentially give this guy alcohol laced with opium, makes him dependent on the opium and the alcohol, which I have. I essentially tell the guy, halfway into his work that he's not good enough, that I need somebody else, but I still let him go on that night. I throw him the chicken. He eats the chicken's fucking head. He becomes a geek for life. It's a
he
little...
He gives him the opium.
It's a little...
He's negging.
It's a little fatalistic, obviously. Yeah. Like, the assumption is a lot of these pieces have to work the right way to turn this guy into like a psychomaniac eating chickens. But, if we're just assuming this is the way it works in this universe and it works this way every time, it sets up the ending. This movie honestly feels like a 2.5-hour joke for a punchline.
There's a punchline.
The punchline, like the last line of this movie is the punchline, and this movie feels like a really long telling of a joke.
Yeah, so
like an Aristocrats joke almost, like da-da-da-da-da. And then he goes and does this, and he gets his ear blown off, and he strangles this woman, and this and this and this, and then at the end he says, right? It's like
yeah, and so like the ending is he basically escapes the police barely, lives in like a homeless camp, and then ends up back in his old carnival, hoping to like get a similar job as a mentalist. Now, Willem Dafoe is replaced by Tim Blake Nelson, who's in, great, but only in one scene in this movie.
Literally one scene.
And basically does the same exact thing to Bradley. I mean, Bradley Cooper knows what's happening to Bradley Cooper that...
He noticed that Tim Blake Nelson doesn't drink out of that bottle. He's like, I'm going to share this bottle with you, and he only pours it for Bradley Cooper. Did you notice that?
Well, he did pour one, but he didn't touch it.
No, he doesn't even pour one for himself.
Oh, did he not?
He pours one for Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper drinks it. You see him about to pour one for himself, and then Bradley Cooper sticks the glass out, and he just pours another one for him. He doesn't even like it's again like if you're trying to watch it knowing where it's going, it's funny to see Tim Blake Nelson just like casually just not pour himself anything.
So we left out a key detail. Bradley Cooper doesn't drink because it is implied that his father was an abusive alcoholic and he killed him.
They make a point. Like, they make a point.
And Bradley Cooper does start drinking.
I don't touch the stuff.
but he does start drinking with Cate Blanchett's character because they kind of get in this like semi-romance, but maybe she's playing him. And so he becomes an alcoholic.
Definitely playing him.
Like his father. So when he's in his homeless camp, he's like an addict. He literally gives away his most valuable possession for like a sip of alcohol, which then foretells the next scene where he goes, and he just wants his drink at this point, and he knows it's laced with opium and he's going to be addicted, but he's already addicted. Like, the whole movie is about addiction and wanting more, right? Which is one's figurative and one's literal. And so he just trades one addiction for another, and he trades the fame for just the drink and the opium, and he's like, what did you say? I was basically born to be a geek or whatever.
Yeah, Tim Blake Nelson says, I've got this job for you. It's temporary. I'll pay you in, food and alcohol, and that's it. But, it's a temporary job as a geek. And he goes, Mister, I was born to play that role. And like, that's the joke. It's like it's like the aristocrats, like I was born to play that role. Cause like, and I think let's go third eye here. So Cate Blanchett is our capitalist masters, exploiting Bradley Cooper, the less than smart proletariat, I guess.
So you would say she's
the bourgeoisie.
Is she like Bezos? Is she?
She's just
deep
the bourgeoisie in general.
Is she the Clinton syndicate?
No, get out of here. She's not anyone specific. We're decoding it. Where was Q in this? I think it's like she's supposed to be the bourgeoisie. Bradley Cooper's supposed to be kind of like the misguided proletariat. Because like she survives at the end of the movie, and it's like after all this, after Bradley Cooper tries his hardest to stop her, it's like I'll live, and she'll probably live to continue to do it to somebody else. Because if you buy into the narrative that you said, which is the exploitation of the stupid or the hubris-filled, which could be the proletariat, or the way bourgeoisie might view the proletariat, that could be, there you go. That could be as simple as that. Like, it could be. Again, subtext. But it's still the same greed undertone. Like,
yeah, I'm not sure if she represented, like, a specific mechanism
I'm not saying
of capitalism.
Intentionally, but, like, you could read it
Yeah.
that way. I enjoyed it, but it's a rough movie.
Yeah,
it doesn't have a very happy ending, obviously.
And like there's part of you that sort of you want Bradley Cooper to get away with it because I guess you follow him. But then when you think about it, he is a genuinely bad person. He killed his dad, right?
Abusive alcoholic. And watched him freeze.
But probably you shouldn't kill your dad. Then he he cheats on Rooney Mara. He but arguably intentionally, unintentionally kills this guy who's like his mentor. He rationalizes it by he's helping them, but does the beyond the grave
field
type of work.
Yeah,
and
those people die because of it.
Every single person, that he does it before die, and the judge and his wife seem like good people. And although the final guy was not a good person, and he kills another guy as they're escaping, and
he beats Richard Jenkins to literal death.
Although he may have deserved it.
He had it coming, but still.
Yeah. So Bradley Cooper just does in the movie. He kills Mentalist. He kills his dad. He kills Richard Jenkins
and Holden Callahan.
And then doesn't kill the judge and her wife, but you could argue without him they don't die. So that is 6 deaths.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. So
it's a pretty bleak movie. There's no silver lining here.
And even though he is objectively a bad person, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy to see him suffer. It's, you know what I mean? At the end, I felt sad for him.
Right. Well, and that's because at the end of it, you're just like, well, this is it. This is your life now. That's the way the movie ends is this is your life now. And does he end up as the other geek, dead in an alley somewhere, covered in scabies and shit? Does he end up there? I don't know. Again, that's where the movie showed the other guy ending up. Is that where he ends up? I don't know, but I will say the movie puts his character in a very bad predicament. And that's, again, could he rise above it? Sure, but he already had that opportunity. That's kind of the way the movie presents it. You only get one go-round here.
Yeah, the second half is just everyone is just, he's a bad person, but everyone he's interacting with is also a bad person. So it's bad, there's no one to root for.
Nope.
You're kind of rooting for him because you're he's maybe less evil than this guy.
For him because you are following him through the majority of the film.
He is likable. Bradley Cooper does he's he's a great actor and he has this magnetic interesting thing going on, and obviously he's playing up the charm. And
honestly, I think he's playing the charm down. I think Bradley Cooper in this movie, it's an interesting performance because he's doing something that like I haven't seen him do, which is like he's downplaying how likable of a guy he is in a lot of.
I meant like I'm thinking more in the second half when he's like doing the whole song and dance.
Yeah,
the first half,
I could see that. I think even in that part, like he's still toning down how charismatic of just a genuine human he is. But it's a weird performance, and also like the accent he's doing is very it's very specific. They mentioned he's an Okie yokel or something, and like if that's what they were going for, and he's supposed to be from like the rural part of our country, that again feeds more into kind of the message that we've been talking about, right? Right? I mean, it does. If he's from like Oklahoma and he goes out to the coast to find his way or whatever, I mean, there's something to it. I don't know what accent he's going for, but it's very like it's like very staccato and like very weird. I don't know. It's not Bradley Cooper just talking his normal voice, that's for sure.
I mean, it's definitely not Rocket Raccoon.
Just like a New Jersey accent or whatever Rocket Raccoon's supposed to be.
Insane that they got like one of the most handsome men in the world, Hollywood, whatever, and he plays a raccoon.
And he's never been on screen with any of these. He's like never worked with any of the other actors.
I think he does do some mocap stuff, right?
Nope.
Never?
No, right? It's totally wild. I was reading some stuff about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I've never been on set with them or anything." Because I think that was part of his contract, was that he wanted to be able to just like go in, work, and leave. Which, you know what? Like, kudos to him, because dude, can you imagine like that hell of a gig? Just do a voice in a Marvel movie. Don't even really have to be on screen.
Vin Diesel's got the most, because he's got the even less lines because he only has one thing to say.
I would say Vin Diesel has a harder time because he's so limited by what he has to do. I mean, you know what's impressive? Vin Diesel puts in all the work on the international dubs.
Oh, does he?
Every single international dub is him doing it. Oh, yeah.
I'll give him credit for that. I mean, it still ends up becoming him doing like still less dialogue than anyone else because he only has one sentence. Per payment, he has probably gotten paid more per word than any actor in the history of fucking acting ever. He gets like 7 or 8 million. He's made like 45 million off. I mean, he's been in like 4 or 5 movies, which is like, it's a lot of movies, but it's like when you realize what he has to actually do in those movies.
It's not much.
I think he does.
And why would you ever recast him? Because like he could do that until he's like 80 years old. Like,
and at this point, money's not really an object.
No, when you're part of the two of the biggest franchises of all time, life's not hard for Vin Diesel.
No, it's not. Yeah, wild.
I'm disappointed. I will say, not that the Oscars are a measuring stick of anything, but I'm a little surprised that Bradley Cooper didn't get nominated for this role. I can't hear you.
Who did get nominated for Best Actor? We should probably know this, huh? Movie podcast and whatnot.
Nah, I mean, but dude, most people that talk about movies don't like the Oscars, myself included. So who's nominated? Andrew Garfield, Benedict Cumberbatch, Javier Bardem, Denzel Washington, and Will Smith.
Power of the Dog. I think the Benedict Cumberbatch performance actually is overrated. I haven't seen Tick, Tick, Boom yet, but I've heard it's amazing. And Andrew Garfield is legitimately great and everything.
The Power of the Dog must be a really good movie because it's nominated for like a
Have you not seen it?
No.
I think it was okay. I think it's a bit overrated. You
see how many things it's nominated for?
Yeah.
It's nominated for like 15 fucking things. It might be overrated. I don't know.
And I'm not saying because it's been nominated for so many things, but just like the hype on it was so insane. And I watched it, and maybe I wasn't in the right mind for it, but it was definitely well made, well acted, but I wasn't like, oh, Benedict Cumberbatch is fucking, I don't know, he's just doing this weird accent, and
but he's not doing his like hilarious American accent. I can like hear his American accent in my head, the one that he does for Doctor Strange. It's so like, yo, dude, you're clearly not from around these parts, are you, pal?
Hot take. The best Benedict Cumberbatch performance this year did not involve a cowboy hat. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm seeing him in anything, dude.
Doctor Strange. I'm saying him in Spider-Man.
I haven't seen Spider-Man. That would be why.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I enjoyed his performance in that probably more than I did.
I believe it.
But I could be, like I said, not a bad movie. I just think.
But I do want to ask you, so now that we're back at the end of Nightmare Alley, would you, obviously we already told people that you should watch it. I would say that even kind of with the length of the movie being an issue for me, I think most people are going to enjoy it if they check it out. And it's made me want to check out the original one as well.
That has not made me want to check out the original one, but yeah, I think most people should check it out.
I would actually like to watch the original and read the book, because I bet the book's probably not probably not an expansive 500-page book. Might be. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I can't imagine the story taking that long to tell, but
books back then were fucking long.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I would be interested, because I know Mike over at the projection booth is going to be doing a Nightmare Alley episode later this year, and he's on the original, and he's probably gonna talk about it. There's no way he doesn't. So he's gonna talk about this one at some point. So, and he'll have to read the book, so maybe I'll get to know how the book is from him. So, but yeah. So the next time you and I chat, we'll probably talk about Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Justice for Mutt.
I swear to God, shit.
I know there's some personal things, but just as an artist, I'm going to protest Indiana Jones 5 until they release the Mutt cut.
Mutt cut? Yeah. Fuck me, dude.
Release the Mutt cut.
Yeah. So that's what we'll be talking about next time. So until then, you can find this show at Kulturecast.com. You can find me on the internet at cstachiw.com. That's it. You can find Yashar here because you can't find him anywhere else.
I guess you can follow me on Letterboxd. Do you have a Letterboxd?
Yeah, I don't use it, but I know what it is.
I have one. I'm Mr. Robot 45. I don't know why. I don't even really love Mr. Robot that much.
Malik and Mr. Robot.
I know. There's only 2 seasons of Mr. Robot I thought were really good. The first season I think is good, not great. Second season is legitimately bad. But
so yeah, we'll be talking about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in the next episode, and looking forward to it. It's been a while.
We last saw it the midnight showing.
Yeah, last time we watched it together within 24 hours of one another knowingly was when we saw it at the midnight showing. So that was fucking 14 years ago now, or 12 years. What is it, 10? So 8.
13 years, 12 years ago, basically, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be coming to you with that episode, and we'll be talking about a little bit of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. So yeah, I guess until then, make sure to check out the next episode.